what it is, everybody, and thanks for tuning back in here to another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Taking delivery of the SRT8 Jeep. Kind of had this in the hiding of y'all. Y'all didn't even know nothing about it, huh? Would you believe it? Well, you know, if I'm gonna rock a Jeep, ain't gonna be no ordinary Jeep. It's gotta be the real deal. As they say, real deal Holyfield. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick time to show you some drive arounds, some exhaust notes, some sick ass features that this one's got, and tell you exactly about this one. So let's get to it. Starting off first here, we got the SRT8 Jeep. It's a 2012. It's got some wheel spacers. It's slammed lower, got them white Brembo caliper brakes. This thing is sick. 6.4 liters of Hemi power, all-wheel drive. So it's like a bat out of hell from out of the hole. When you stomp the gas, it's ready to go. Blacked out package. And everyone that knows me, you know I'm not a fan of black wheels or black anything, like when the truck is all black. But this one is sick. I ain't gonna lie. So I hope y'all like it as well. Again, 2012, 70,000 miles. This thing is gangsta. I mean, you just can't beat it. All blacked out, everything. Corsa exhaust. Thing sounds sick. Let's take a peek on the inside. Again, I apologize for the wind today. It is a little windy. Pretty clean, straightforward. I'll get my phone out the way. Carbon fiber interior package. Everything looking good. Let's go on to the driver's side. Got the tint on the windows already. Tint on the windshield. You know how we do. I was holding out for y'all. Basic run-of-the-mill SRT8 package. Navi fully lit because it's an SRT. The seats are, oh my god, are like super comfortable, to say the least. Up the back, got that JL sub, along with conjunction of the standard sub that comes with the car. This thing kicks. It's all set up, ready to rock and roll. So we'll start. Got the tinted tail lights, the Corsa exhaust. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek of the sound of the exhaust. Let's get a quick peek here under the hood. .4 liters of that Hemi raw American V8 power. Again, I apologize for the wind again today, guys. It is pretty windy out here today. We're gonna go ahead and get it a little cleaned up, you know, real hood vents extracting the hot air, because we all know this thing generates some hella heat. And that's what she's gonna stay as the daily driver. So I definitely was gonna share this with y'all. Taking delivery of the SRT8. All right, guys, so we're here in the SRT8. I hope you guys like this thing so far. I like it. It's still kind of actually new, and I'm actually learning. I actually find out this thing actually has an eco mode. An eco mode in an SRT. What does that boost my gas mileage up from, what, 11 to 12 if you really don't beat on it? But who the hell buys an SRT8 not to beat on it? Just listen to it. Of course, you can't go nowhere without the cops always doing something to ruin your experience. So driving along down the street, you know, how's this thing drive? Well, it drives actually really good. Does it drive like a standard Jeep? Well, for the people that already have this thing, you already know. For the ones that don't, it drives not like a standard Jeep, obviously because of the oversized tires. This one specifically is lowered. It's got wheel spacers on it to give it a little bit more flair, to make the wheels appear like they have a bigger offset. But of course it doesn't have standard Jeep brakes, which is great. It drives like a lifted car, if I had to put it in perspective. Is it bad? Well, no. It's kind of like in a cross track of like, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. But at the same time, because there's really not many other things out there, well, we had the Trailblazer SS, and I'm a GM fanboy, and I think that was like the ultimate failure, because it had a great motor, but it only had like SS embroidered into the headliners, and that was like the only thing that like it was different in the interior. Other than that, you know, the truck itself, you know, it didn't have enough pizzazz in it to win me over. So I would definitely obviously pick the SRT8 over the Trailblazer SS. And now that the new Trackhawk is out, it's kind of a no-brainer. But anyway, back to the SRT8. The interior is obviously just, you know, much nicer. It's got much nicer seats, much nicer leather, center console, and again, the newer ones that have come out are even much better. So, and this is an older model. This is a 2012. So the newer ones are even, you know, more that sex on wheels, as you would want to call it. But this is like the ultimate sleeper SUV, you know, when you need a little bit of more space to haul some shit around and stuff. It's just it does the job and gets the job done really well, and I really like it. It's also different, you know, driving around it and being so high up, because, you know, I got to get used to it. You know, I'm always so used to being so low in the Corvette and so low in the Trans Am, and, you know, if I have to sit high up, it's maybe only on a motorcycle or something. But other than that, I'm always sitting on the ground. I've never been a fan of sitting high up. Yeah, it's nice to be able to see a little bit further and such, but, you know, it's just my preference. Now, some people don't prefer to sit on the floor. They feel like when they get in my car, it's like their ass is on the ground and they can't see anything, which I understand and I get, you know, to each his own. You know, however, I like that rock solid feel of being on the ground with the stiff suspension and such. But, you know, this thing, yeah, obviously it's nowhere near as stiff as the Corvette. It's never intended to be, even with it being lowered a few inches. But it doesn't handle like your traditional style Jeep or your traditional style SUV, where when you turn it, you feel like you're gonna frickin', you know, roll over. I don't know if that ever really gets old, especially in something like this when you have 6.4 liters of displacement, because I don't care what people say. Given the day and age, yes, we do have a lot of boosted cars and such, and I have a boosted car, don't get me twisted now, but there's no replacement for displacement. You can create 500 horsepower on a Turbo 4, on a turbo or supercharged V6 or whatever it may be, or and even a supercharged V8 or whatever, but it's still not the same as when you have it naturally aspirated. And hot damn it, it's awesome. Look, it's in eco mode. So upon sitting here in the SRT8, obviously I'm going to do a little bit more filming on the inside because it's less windy than outside. Turn the motor off so it doesn't catch any background noise. But yeah, I mean, this thing is killer, you know. I was gracious enough to be able to drive this thing around and show it to you guys. And what better vehicle is, you know, if the Speedbug is going to obtain a new vehicle, why would it be something else besides the SRT model? Like I said, given I am a GM guy, but I do really think that the SRT8 is a lot better platform for many reasons. You know, it had a lot more pizzazz than the Trailblazer SS, even though I still really like the Trailblazer SS and the LS2 that it comes with. But this one here, it offers more than just an engine. It includes an interior package, a suspension package, and just a lot of other things that one just didn't offer. It was like not enough. It was almost like it was just like rushed into production, where this is kind of the whole package. Now, given that this was more expensive, obviously it makes a little bit more sense. But I still have the Trans Am and I still have the Corvette, and we're gonna keep it that way. But I wanted to, you know, talk a little bit more about this vehicle, and especially considering the fact that it's a 2012, it actually really has aged well. You can see some of the things where time is starting to show, just due to the way technology has moved in the future, you know, with the newer vehicles. It's just amazing as you sit in this thing and it's a 2012, you're like, oh wow, 2012, that's not even old, like whatever, no big deal, right? But then you get into something newer and you're like, holy shit, like, wow, how fast technology has moved. Because if you would have taken that back like 5 or 10 years ago and then done an age gap of 5 or 6 years, it wouldn't have been, you know, so dramatic as it is now. And now that the Trackhawk is out and everything else, it's in the interior has been completely redesigned on a whole nother generation. But then again, you know, that's the new era that we live in, and technology is evolving so fast. So trying to always keep up with the Joneses, you're always going to go bankrupt. So this one is still kick-ass, and for a bargain, and that you can get these in the 30s now, given the fact that these things were like 75, you know, of course, when they were new, it's still a kick-ass Jeep. And hey, if you really want to make it fast like a Trackhawk, you can even make it faster. You could turbo it, put pistons in it and supercharge it and make, you know, 900, 1,000 horsepower in your Jeep, which is, you know, think about it again, 10 to 15 years ago, like, you know, 1,000 horsepower in a Jeep, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, now it's like the cool thing to do. But this thing is sick. It is sick, and I figured I'd really want to share this with y'all, and I love this truck. It is super comfortable. I can feel like I can drive all the way back to Chicago in this thing and never bat an eye, never bat anything, because it's just that comfortable, and it's kick-ass. And SRT has really, you know, done their homework here, you know, on the Jeep, and really turned it into something nice. It's worth every bit of penny that they charge extra on top of the line Summits before you get to the SRT8 model. So absolutely. So if you're looking to maybe potentially get one or look at one, very few modifications that you'll probably want to do to maybe make it your own, or just leave it stock, and it's still a badass Jeep, you know, right out of the gate. Now, if you want to off-road and stuff with it, it's probably not the best Jeep or anything for you to do with that, but it still can tow a little bit. You know, you could pull a jet ski, maybe a small boat or something like that. But obviously, if you're buying this with performance being in mind, you're probably not trying to tow your, you know, your 40-foot boat or anything like this. You probably want, you know, like an F-250 or maybe a Ram, or, you know, a Silverado or something else that's going to be able to handle that payload and that towing capacity a little bit better than a sports vehicle. It's kind of like trying to tow something with a Lightning or the Viper truck or something like that. It's just silly. It's just, you know, no go. So that's going to end it off here. Again, I hope you guys liked what you saw. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and also check me out here on Instagram at the Speedbug, the same name here as YouTube, and we will catch you here for another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Deuces. Alright, y'all, I just figured I'd take you guys up for a ride for a little bit longer, but I want to give a big thanks to my neighbor Neil. It's actually his truck. I didn't buy an SRT8 as much as I really would love to. It's probably the SUV I actually will really buy. I've had my eye on them for a long time, but yeah, they are pretty expensive. Nonetheless, he let me do a quick review on his Jeep and enjoy it here for a little bit, and I figured I'd do a little gag, a little funny joke here for you guys about another cool vehicle and something that we're probably gonna actually see on the channel a little bit more. So to my neighbor Neil, his SRT8, he's the one that also has the red Z06. So we actually did a video about that, the Z06 racing the M5s when we put it on a dyno, so you could check that out. I posted that about a month ago, but it is in fact his vehicle, not mine, and I will let you know when I get the next one. Deuces.